audio.
Yep.
Mad. Coffee.
Yep. Coffee, audio. That's working. That's you good?
Penis. Yeah, everything's there.
Do you have any other shirts, man? Is that fucking? I can never wear that shirt because you're always fucking wearing it. Fuck.
You know what's funny? I was like, podcast day. Yeah, I'm gonna wear it.
I fucking wear it every time. Love it,
Dude.
So good,
It is one of my favorite shirts, I gotta say.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of the cool. Is it the dial? We've talked about this before. The dial.
I don't know. I think it's iconic. Like the white. Like
I love it.
It's.
I wish I could have another
Have
one.
they patented it? Because it's very much theirs, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
cool.
you could. That is cool.
All right.
How's it going?
Let's fucking rip into this one, dude.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
We got some cool shit this week.
All right.
So first up, we have exciting news.
Wait, you should start the
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
Every time.
But
We're up to 26 episodes now. We still do this.
Forget. Yeah. We just want to nerd out.
Yeah,
Just want to nerd out about gear. You go. You do it.
Welcome, everybody. We are the Audio Boys. You are the Audio People.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We are at the Tommirock Podcast Room. You can hire this space for yourself. You just got to go to tommirock.com/podcast and you can hire this space for yourself.
Yep.
Thank you for sponsoring the podcast every week. We love you guys. We're happy to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Hey.
All right. I want to talk about this thing. So you've been in my ear about this new MDN plugin. Anyone that doesn't know what MDN is, let's just give a quick education. MDN plugins. We did talk about MDN before.
Yeah, we've done the tape, Marc Daniel Nelson.
I only put this together yesterday. The MDN is Marc Daniel Nelson.
You're funny.
Dumb.
So Pulsar Modular is the company
Marc
that
Daniel
does.
Nelson sounds like a made-up name from a sitcom. Like
like
you know,
90s,
yeah,
like
yeah.
80s.
It's like, oh, my boyfriend, Marc Daniel Nelson. And like, you know, who doesn't exist. That's what it reminds me of. Anyway, that's fucking stupid.
Anyway, so my boyfriend Marc Daniel Nelson, he's real.
Yeah.
He has a plugin.
Yeah. This is Pulsar Modular. Pulsar Modular MDN. So is it they?
It's a partnership thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so far they've done the sidecar, which was the API sidecar.
Oh, it's banging.
Yeah, you love that.
I love it, man. Actually,
so does Hato
So
too.
from the last episode, Lewis Johns, he put me onto that. He put me on. He was like, I'm using this fucking thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
It's very good.
It's really good. So just quickly, it's EQ. It's like a 4 bands, like an API style, like 550B style.
EQ. Before that, it's actually a summing mixer too.
Oh, Dan Scarabelli. Sorry, bro, I can't answer your call because I'm doing this right now. So sorry, and talk to you soon. Dan's watches the pod. He's legend.
yeah?
Yeah. He's
Shout out, Dan.
He records music and mixes, and yeah, he's very good. He has a band called Komodo Nightmare that people should check out if you like thrash.
Hell yeah.
All right, back to this.
So it's actually a line amp summing mixer first. It has that 2-channel, 8-channel thing. It does some API saturation.
Yeah. So that is cool because it like the 2-channel for me is like stereo. So everything gets like this.
Yeah.
Bricked up in the middle.
Yeah.
And then the 8-channel is like wide.
Yeah.
Cool.
We played around with it actually the other day. Me and Hato.
This is a really great
cool.
all-in-one like for your mix bus.
It is probably the only all-in-one mix thing that I would ever use.
I'm gonna back you up on that. Actually,
I've tried so many tools, like plug-in tools like that.
Yeah.
And I never like them, and it's the only one that I find a use for.
I want to say it is Lewis that he said this might replace my 2-bus chain. Like,
whoa,
which is pretty
That's big.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I agree with you because most of them they either don't do enough things or they do too many things or they don't do those things well.
Yep.
All the things that this does it does well.
Yep.
It's great. So
Yep.
the EQ section's really usable. The thing I love about this EQ, which not many API style EQs have, is the ability to switch between 1 times, 0.5 or 0.25 times.
Yep.
Because that's my biggest gripe with the 550Bs
Yeah.
and 550As is that they're 2 dB steps.
Yep.
Which is too much.
Yeah.
It's way too much.
Yeah, like for tracking it works.
I think
when
it
you wanna
only
make-
works on single sources.
Yes.
Not even on buses. Like
Yeah.
on kick and snare when you want to do
don't need that much.
No.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you're doing that much EQ on your bus, something's wrong. You need to go back further.
Yeah, you might have missed it in tracking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I really like that
Yeah.
about the EQ section. This bottom section, it's the compressor, which you can then
There's two types of compressors on there.
What are
I think it's a blend between like a Fairchild and an SSL.
I was going to say, because it looks like a Fairchild, that has to be intentional.
Yeah, it's not any particular compressor. It's just got
Yep.
characters of different.
Anyway, we've
compressors.
done this, so we're not going to delve too deep into that. So
he also has the MDN tape saturator.
And you really like the tape saturator.
It's cool. It's cool. I like it for the widening and stuff. It does. It does some subtle, some not so subtle saturation and subtle if you want.
I mean,
it.
there's tape plugins for days now.
Yeah,
but for
it's
me,
one of the few that I like.
Same, dude.
I don't like a lot of tape saturators either.
No.
They don't. Same for the same reason.
Well,
and also its tape delay is one of the coolest sounding tape delays.
It's cool.
I use it on vocals.
And it has like a phase effect on it that's really useful as well, I think.
Yeah, the modulation.
Yeah.
Flange thing.
Yeah, so it's actually a really usable effects, not only just as a tape thing for your mix bus or for whatever bus that you like tape on, but also as an effect on single sources.
Yeah.
Anyway, without getting fucking deep into that,
The latest one.
Can I show this photo? Can we share this photo?
Yeah, because this will be out.
This will be out by
It'll
then.
be out by
Right,
then.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the latest from Marc Daniel Nelson and Pulsar Modular.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. So it's what is it, dude? I don't know. This is the first time I've seen it. I've never seen this before. What's it
So the Neve 2254, everyone should be familiar with. Yeah. So if you know, we've talked about like 33609s.
Yeah.
Before the 33609 diode bridge compressor, there was the 2254 from Neve.
Yeah.
Now, what a lot of people don't know, I didn't even know this until so the 2254 was the Neve bus compressor. It's very bombastic.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's an AML version.
I've owned
hardware.
the BAE version.
The BAE version.
I owned those, and they were arguably one of the less crazy ones.
Yep.
And it's still crazy.
Yeah.
It's such a wild unit.
Yeah. And so they're all diode bridge compressors. The 2252 is actually the first version of that. And it was germanium diodes.
2252. Right. Yep.
Yeah. And this is the part you'll like and some other people might like. The 2252, it's really hard to find any info on.
Right.
It's very obscure.
Yep.
Mark has one and they've modeled it off that.
Okay.
But it was the first one made before the 2254.
Right.
And it uses these germanium diodes as the diode in the diode bridge compression, and it's much grittier.
So germanium, like when you say germanium, I think gritty and dark.
Yeah.
That's what it is?
Coloured,
Right.
vibey.
For anyone that hasn't used germanium gear, it generally imparts more distortion on the signal.
Yep.
I hear more of a high-end roll-off and a bit of a low-end bump. Is it? Would you say that is accurate of all germanium?
Yeah, and then there's and in the actual hardware, it's not traditional Carnhill transformers. So they used the Marinaires later on. They went back to the traditional Neve transformers.
Yep.
They use these different ones.
Right.
So there's a different transformer stage that is uncharacteristic for typical Neve. So you just get this more aggressive, punchy kind of thing going on. It still has a kind of Neve-ish vibe.
Yep.
But it's much more energy.
I don't think about them Neve-ish. Like this distortion characteristic to me isn't the same as a Neve, a germanium.
No. So the transformers,
Sorry,
though.
the transformer,
Yeah.
right.
So there's two main components in this that are different to what we know of the 2254 and the 33609. So thinking of the records it was used on, just to give people a perspective, right, of what this particular compressor was used on.
Yep.
London Calling.
Yep.
By The Clash.
Yep.
The Pretenders self-titled album. What else? Sex Pistols.
Right. Okay.
Never Mind the Bollocks.
Right. Okay.
That late 70s like punk sort of vibe. And then the Queen album. It's the one. What's the Queen album with like We Will Rock You on that? What's that one?
I can't remember.
I think it's that one.
I don't want to get it wrong.
I think it's that one, but I might be wrong.
Right.
But anyway, it's whatever in that 78, 79 kind of era, Queen sort of thing.
Yep.
But very gritty, cool vibe.
Yeah. So
cool vibe.
It's probably the vibiest compressor I've ever used. Like if we want to talk about like what it does to the signal and
You're talking about the 2254?
Yes, the 2254. Obviously, I've never used the 2252. It's a unicorn. But for anyone who obviously it's going to be out of reach for a lot of people, this plugin has the same characteristic. This is the Lindell. This is how I got onto the 2254 thing.
That's not too expensive, yeah.
No, it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's a plug-in alliance, so everything's relatively cheap.
Yep.
This compressor lived on my mix bus for maybe 3 years. Like it's sick because it's multi-band. It gives you the 5.4 vibe and characteristic, but it's not
way more controllable.
Exactly. Yep. So like I found that all I would do is put this on and then adjust the threshold of each compressor. So that, yes, maybe my lows are compressing harder than my highs. And you can kind of do a scoopy thing with the mids. It's fucking sick. So if you want to hear what this does, download the trial for this, give it a go. It's fucking sick. I liked it on Mixbus. I liked it on individual sources. But yeah, like I said, it was my Mixbus compressor for a long time until I bought the BAE 2254, 10 DCF. That I had that.
Oh, you had that.
I had those.
Yeah,
How
cool.
expensive they are, man. It's fucking obscene.
Far out.
I
You sold it.
swapped that for my 33609.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I lost a bit of money on that trade out, but it was like, it's either I sell these and that could take a week or 6 months, who knows, or I just swap this guy now and I get what I want.
Yeah.
So fuck it.
Fair.
Anyway, it turned out the better for me because I prefer the sound of a 609.
Yep.
Let's just compare them. So for me, the 5.4 is slow.
Yeah, slow,
low mid heavy, juicy. Like you can almost feel the character of the compression.
Weighty.
All that sort of thing. Whereas a 609 is tighter. It's got more high range, like high end distortion, whereas this is more like low end distortion.
Yep.
And tighter, brighter, more forward.
Yes.
And more like I think it has more controls. I want to say it's also got a limiter. 609's got a limiter, which makes it very different to this too.
Yeah.
But they're both in that diode bridge world. So
that one didn't have the limiter.
No.
Oh,
wait, does it?
should. Well, a proper.
Oh, maybe it did. I hated it.
Yeah.
I could never get it to work because
Yeah.
it was so over the top.
Yeah.
As soon as I engaged it, everything just went like got sucked down. Which was actually a problem I had with the 33609 until I figured out how to use it.
Yeah, we talked
You
about it.
explained it to me.
Yeah.
In that the output of the gain.
The gain on the compressor stage drives into the limiter.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's a weird setup.
It's strange, but
it's so because you see gain and you think it's at the output stage,
Yeah.
but it's not.
it's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So back to MDN. So
Yeah.
MDN have modeled
yeah.
this after the 2252.
I need to make a correction on that too. It probably is on the output stage.
Right.
Technically,
Yeah.
that gain.
Yeah.
But because it's a feedback design, it feeds back through.
Right. I only learned what feedback and feed forward, the difference between them.
Your
the other
API
day.
is a feedback.
And that's
Or-
how I learnt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the
2500.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that. And you can select it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it has a very different vibe. Like feed forward, feedback. It's different.
It gets grittier, dirtier. On
So
feedback,
what does this sound like?
It is much grittier.
Yeah.
Than the 2254, and that it's grittier because of the germanium stuff.
Wow.
So it's got heaps of vibe, heaps of character.
So I'm guessing this is going to be like it'd feel like a combination of compression and distortion in one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Kind of like a Devil Locky kind of thing, like that.
Yes, it can get very dirty, but like there's lots of different controls for it. But it's still got that kind of energy and vibe as the 2254s later have, but it's a bit more punchy, and then it's got way more saturation and stuff
I
going on.
see a sidechain filter. I see a mix knob.
Yes.
I always find it funny when companies do this true to the original and make these tiny little trim knobs, like those tiny little. But I think it's funny.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I think
Your
for
own
this,
decision.
it's like a form factor thing, whatever.
Yep.
But so you can basically how it works is you go in. We'll trim into the threshold, and then the output then hits the final out there. So you can adjust that because they're in bigger steps.
Yep.
But the output actually has a coloration to it as well. So if you push the output harder,
it's
it
gonna
will change
like
stuff. Saturate more, so you get different levels of saturation from different things.
Yep.
And then you've got this stock and drive switch, and you've got actually another little trim pot for how much drive. So you can change the amount of distortion.
Cool.
And then on the output, there's normal and heft. That's the transformer saturation.
Cool.
So you can control the diode saturation
Yep.
and the transformer saturation separately.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
you have parallel.
Wow.
And then you have a response time and a release time. Response time is what was standard
That's
as the
new
release.
to me. I've never seen that before.
It's just what they called it. It's the release kind of time of it all.
Yep.
But it's weird how it works. Yeah.
Right,
It's
okay.
a funny one, but then you got the release there as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you've been using it on, do you say bass?
I've used it on drums.
Yeah.
I've used it on everything.
Yeah.
Drums.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Like
Like
unreal.
explosive and...
it can be, but it can
Yeah.
it can work on if you want. Like we used it yesterday on a thing that was more just like neo soul.
Yep.
And even on something that's a cleaner neo soul vibe, it just added the vibe to it. And it was like,
Yeah.
oh, this track now is interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that, dude.
Yeah. I was just
love
like,
that.
oh. And then and then we chucked it on bass and like it's fucking unbelievable on bass. Like I don't love you know me, I'm a hardware guy. But when a good plugin does a thing, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Bass, killer. It will be my bass compressor.
Right.
And I usually go a 76 plug-in if I want to plug in.
Same.
If I'm using a plug-in on a bass,
Yep.
it's almost always a 76.
Right.
It'll be this now.
Cool.
Easy. Hands down.
Yep.
Guitar bus, pretty cool.
Yeah, okay.
Does a cool thing to the left, right.
Right.
You know when things can
Get
pull it
wider.
up and get a bit wider, but in a cool way.
Yep.
Obviously because of the saturation. I tried it on vocal bus. Say you wanted a vocal bus with more grit and energy, it could work on that.
Cool.
Definitely. And then mixed bus, I was like, yeah, but it didn't suit that track and it was
Right.
too much for that
Yeah.
particular
Yeah,
track.
yeah.
But definitely drums.
Yes.
Definitely bass.
Right. Cool.
100%, maybe vocals. I think Mark said he likes to use it on piano. It was cool on piano and keys too. Yeah.
So it's the stuff that you want to introduce more like harmonic information.
Yep.
Maybe slam a little bit.
Yep.
Excite a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
just it's a color box.
Yep.
It's a color box and a compressor.
Love
and
that.
it's fucking cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and we're about to record some stuff for the video for that now. So it'll be out by the time we release this podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm about to do something with Lachlan this
Cool.
weekend, some punk stuff. So
I'm
shout out Lachlan.
I'm looking forward to trying this because that is something that sometimes hardware has a hard time with, is doing all of those things at once.
Yes.
Is like saturation and compression
Yep.
and doing it all tastefully.
Yep.
I can't think of many things that I have that will do all those things. Usually it's a combination of things. So in terms of like just slapping something on and being like, cool, that sounds great. I'll use it as well.
Dude,
I'm keen.
you'll dig it. 100%.
I mean, everything else they've done is fucking great. So I have no doubt in that product.
Yeah, he teased it at NAMM, and there's actually videos where he kind of mentions it on his channel, and you're like, oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, right,
Because
cool.
I had the insider sort
Cool,
of goss on
yeah,
it.
cool.
I knew it was coming. I was like, oh, yeah, he's
Right,
setting it up. Yeah, yeah.
right.
But it's there.
All right.
It's cool.
So today's episode, we want to focus mainly on audience questions.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go over.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna go over some comments on our last couple of YouTube videos.
Yep.
We're gonna just go over some questions from people asking me on Instagram.
Yep.
And then I've got a question from one of my former interns who had like quite a lengthy question, which might need quite a lengthy response.
Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So let's start with the stuff that you've got here. So let's fucking.
Hell yeah.
just bang this.
YouTube. So we had some great YouTube comments. A lot to do with our preamp video.
Oh, we jumped on the preamp gate bandwagon.
Yeah.
and we like
Hell
we spoke
yeah.
about it, dude. I've lost too much sleep over that fucking shit.
Yeah.
I'm even just thinking about it now is making me angry.
Yeah. I'm at the acceptance stage.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm at the point where I'm like, this is a chance to educate people.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about it in healthy ways.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all the controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just like talk real about what this stuff is and go from there and try and educate and
One
have a
comment-
healthy discussion about things.
I was off our group audio chat with you, me and Tom for a little bit, but I read back through it yesterday and I saw one of Tom's responses was like, there's a big difference between sine waves and real audio, and that's huge, man. Like the way that guy was comparing mic preamps with sine waves, it's just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like when do you put most people don't even know how to generate a sine wave.
Yeah, well, like let's talk about this too before we get into the comments.
Yeah.
Manly Labs owner before she sold it. God.
We've spoken
Ivana?
about it. Yeah, we've spoken about it before. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. Talked about how they would test transformers and stuff and test circuits and run them through scopes. But then what they would hear would be different, right? Like you can test things. I know people that are developing plugins right now, a bunch of people, and they'll look at it and the math lines up, and then what they hear, they go, that's not working. That's shit.
Yeah.
And like the same was true when you go to the Nyquist theorem of sample rates. Remember when people were like talking about early days of DAWs, and they're like, well, we only hear from 20 to 20, so let's just sample up to 40.
Well, then why does it sound different?
And why does it sound different?
Yeah.
And it's that thing, like you can math about this all day, but there is stuff that happens electronically that you can't just show in one thing. It's so complex.
Your comment, ages ago, we were talking about room treatment, and you said to me that basically like you can maths all day, but you need to just trial and error, and it's science, and then just trial and error for the rest of it.
Hell yeah.
Like that stuck with me, and I firmly believe that's true. Yeah, so that, I mean, look, like everyone's like, oh, he did scientific tests. I'm like, so all of a sudden you're all concerned about science? Like, these are the same people that go like, who cares, man? Just make sure the song's good. I'm like, well, hang on. A second ago you were talking about science, and now we're talking about the song being better. Like, pick a side. Yeah. Anyway, piss me off. All right. Here's a great start, dude. Yeah. What's with the UAD hate?
Oh, yeah.
Good video, though. Pretty crazy in retrospect how measured you were in your initial response. Right. So this is a response to your video.
Maybe. Oh, no, this was on our channel though.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because the UAD hate, because we're ripping on.
That's right. Yeah, because every video we've peppered in there somewhere.
Yeah.
You want to answer that?
You go.
Okay, quick. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so my problems with UAD. First of all, I think it sounds bad.
Yeah.
I think the actual shit that we're specifically
Plugins
talking about
interface or
UAD interfaces.
Yeah.
UAD interfaces, conversion, blah blah blah. So we've talked about this a few times before in that we listened to that test between, it was UAD, I think it might have been like a merging and then a DAD interface or something. Remember that test that
Tom did one ages ago, and he did a SSL, is it Sigma?
Did he actually do the test itself, or did he just get the files from someone?
No, I think he did it.
Right, okay.
Maybe.
So he summed his mics out. One went to UAD, one went to DAD.
Yeah.
And granted, UAD and DAD is like comparing...
DAD, you mean the MTRX?
No.
What's DAD?
The conversion, like the...
That's in the MTRX.
It does have DAD in it, does it?
Yes.
Right.
That's
okay.
the MTRX. Yeah,
right,
the Avid Pro Tools MTRX.
Right.
Top of the line.
Exactly.
Pro Tools.
And there was another
conversion.
one, wasn't there? There was a
SSL
interface or something like that.
Yeah, it was the summing.
That's
the summing
right.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah. The summing boxes.
Yeah. So I mean, this is not fair because only you and I have heard this, and it's not out there for the world. But if you go looking, you can hear comparison videos between the conversion from a UAD interface and the conversion from, say, an RME or a competing level interface. And the UAD sounds objectively bad.
Yeah.
It sounds brittle.
Yeah.
The stereo images all cooked.
Yeah.
I just think the tone of the conversion is not nice.
Let's because there is a huge. This gets into preamp gate level as well. There's lots of talk about converters, right? If we're talking about the converters on a 2i2 or on any other 2-channel thing, they're all using the same chips. They're all going to sound the same, or very close.
Yeah.
You're talking about your low to mid-level 8-channel interface. Most of them are using the same converters as each other.
Yep.
So then they're all going to sound a certain way.
Yep.
That's where the Apollo sits.
Yeah.
The Apollo is not top shelf
Fuck no, it's not.
conversion. And then you go next level above that, and then you start getting into pro level conversion. There is a difference. There is a difference if you do them properly and test them, and there's noise floor, and there's things, and there's things with the preamps as well. And obviously over time, the differences have started here. Like if you go original M box and early 8-channel interfaces, they're dog shit.
Yeah.
And then now they're up here. Like they're closing the gap.
Totally. Yep.
But there is a measurable difference.
Yes.
And when you're talking the top tier versus whatever, and it's like, how much of a difference is that going to make to you at home making your demos? Who cares?
Yeah.
Right? At that point, who cares? Use a 2i2. That's tools for the job.
Yes.
But if we're in the top tier and we want the best quality stuff, there is a difference.
Yes.
A measurable difference. An audible difference.
difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was shocking.
Yes.
the quality of the
how
UAD
bad?
because
Yes.
UAD put themselves up here,
Yes.
and all we like to laugh about is because they're pumped like UAD are smashed by Sweetwater, and in the States everyone has fucking UAD stuff.
Yes.
They got the whole plug-in thing, but they're not here.
No.
They're here.
Well, let me break
You
down.
know?
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're going back. So we've just touched on quality and how
Yeah.
we believe that
They
UAD
sounded thinner.
They sound shit.
Yeah, there was a remarkable difference in
Yes.
the quality of sound. I was shocked.
The issue that I have is the price of the
Yes.
UAD interfaces.
Yes.
If they were $2,000, go for it.
Yep.
You know, buy your shit interface. It sounds shit. It's only $2,000. Who cares? You know, but the fact that a UAD interface might cost you $5,000, $6,000, $7,000,
And you're buying into an ecosystem of plugins. That gets me.
I think the fact that UAD, they've been incredibly clever with their marketing, right?
Yeah.
They've got the interfaces in the hands of the right people. They're,
Yeah.
you know, the
YouTubers.
Will Yips. No, I'm talking about big name engineers.
Yeah,
like Will
yeah.
Putney uses Apollos.
Yep.
Will Yip uses Apollos. Like these are guys at the top of the game.
Yep.
And so, all right, I'm UAD. I got heaps of fucking money. I go to you. You're the top of the engineering world.
Yep.
Please use my interface. I'll pay you this much money. And then all of a sudden, everyone's watching you going, oh, Mitch uses Apollo. I've
Yeah,
got to go and buy
I've
an
gotta go-
Apollo.
yeah, exactly,
So they've just
exactly.
finessed everyone. They've marketed
Yep.
themselves in a way very smart. I'll give them that. Like
Yeah,
they fucking
yeah.
super smart with their marketing. But that's all it is. It's fucking marketing.
Yep.
And yeah, they've gotten themselves in a space where they're very visible and people are very aware of
They've
them.
become like an industry standard almost.
That's the problem. That's
Yeah.
the problem. Is
And
now
that is the
that
problem,
all of
yeah.
a sudden it's the fucking industry standard, but they're fucking shit and
Yeah.
they're expensive.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're buying into an ecosystem that you're then locked into.
Yep.
So does that break down the majority of our issues with this?
Yeah, and the DSP, the limitations of the DSP for me
yeah.
is dog shit.
Yeah.
Like once you're getting into that level of money, you're better off getting any other cheap 8-channel interface that has expandability through ADAT and going into hardware. Like spend the rest of your money on hardware or good mics.
Yeah.
Get some good mics.
You know-
Treat your room.
You know, it's funny.
Treat your fucking room.
Yeah, 100%. You know what's funny is like people they look at an Apollo like, oh, it's got a headphone amp, it's got a reamp thing, it's got monitoring, you know, and to me that's all red flags. Like
Yes.
if you're buying
many
high
things.
end,
Yeah.
it shouldn't have all that shit.
Yeah, it's
like,
too many things.
If it does all the jobs that it's meant to do really well, and then you get that extra stuff on top, great.
Yeah, which
But
is
if
something
you-
we talk about a lot,
If you look
yeah.
at the competitors out there, Avid might be the only exception to this rule.
Yep.
But if you look at Antelope, DAD, RME, you know, anything in that like higher to upper end. The
doing
more
one or two jobs.
the more money you spend, the less shit you get.
Yeah.
That's the way things seem to work.
Yeah.
Because they obviously put their money and time, and then they're thinking that okay, you're going to buy an external monitor controller, or you're going to buy external headphone amps and that sort of thing. And realistically, I do want to do that because I want to choose where my money goes, right? Like I don't want you as a company to spend $1,000 on this headphone amp that you're going to jam into this thing that I need to spend $1,000 extra
Yeah.
on this interface
Yeah,
for.
the headphone amp on a lot of those interfaces. There are YouTube channels dedicated to headphones. Shout out Paul Third and Emma Chelik. They have a channel called Mixed Phones. They've kind of opened up that floodgate of info lately.
Right.
And they've looked at like the inbuilt headphone amps and how bad some of them are. It's really awesome actually to know that.
I think if we need to break like what we just said down, it's overpriced.
Yep.
It underperforms.
Yep.
And it's for
Overspec'd.
some reason they're the face of interfaces these days. That's if they weren't so popular, I wouldn't be so mad.
Yeah.
But the fact that everyone when they go like, oh, I'm going to buy a UAD interface and become like a fucking pro guy. I'm like, no, you just got suckered.
Yeah.
Like that's in my opinion.
Yeah, I just think there's other ways that are more affordable, especially for someone coming up. Go just save your money, man. Stick with a 2i2. Like get a 2i2
It's not going to
and
make
just
that
get
much difference.
Yeah, it's not. It really, and that is the joke.
Yeah.
The difference of quality. So we're talking about pro level versus UAD, and this is going to fucking probably cop some flack.
Yeah.
But really, like the Apollo should be here, and the 2i2 is about here. They're much closer.
Fuck yeah.
They're
Halfway
much
between,
closer.
say, like a 2i2, Apollo, and then, say, like an Antelope interface or a low-end Avid interface or something like that.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't want to waste any more time on
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
Next. I would absolutely invite these guys to the
Yeah, I had to add that comment in.
Fucking fantastic.
Dude, hell yeah, man.
Monkey plus.
Yeah.
You're a legend. That's
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
That made my
I think
day.
he's changed his name. I think it's James Underwood, I think is his
Okay,
name.
all
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
cool.
Dude, we'd have a barbecue with you any day too, bro. Fucking legend.
All right, this one got you a little bit, right? So,
we got
okay.
into a bit of a discussion on this in the comments.
Yeah.
So this is Chris Drums.
So this was in response to the preamp video, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy took this photo while he was commenting.
So this was so this is someone responding to
Our video.
our thing saying that saturation that you get from a preamp and you can't get that from a 2i2 or blah blah blah. So so this is like kind of representative of the thinking that you want to track clean and then do the saturation in post,
which
right?
is a lot of people's argument in the pro 2i2 versus Neve thing, in that preamp gate thing. This was a lot of people's return argument.
Yep.
Just use it. If you want saturation, why do you need a Neve? Why do you need it? And what I saw a lot in our comment section and in my own videos and stuff was, why would I spend $5,000 on a Neve?
Yeah.
Neves don't cost $5,000.
Yep.
And it said, just use a saturation plugin.
Yep.
So, so instead of getting the saturation thing, I've answered this question so many times already. Why would we want to get saturation in the preamp stage? What is the benefit of it versus using a saturation plugin in post?
I mean, if you're going to create vibe and create a satisfying soundstage on the way in, saturation's a big part of it.
What does what does the saturation do for you in tracking?
It's like compression.
Yeah.
You know, it adds tone. Saturation is compression. Fuck. I mean, there's less things for me to do later. It helps me create the mix that I'm looking for at the end. Like get a better start on it from the get go. What about you?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. Like it is literally about dialing in the tone now.
Yeah.
And getting it done now.
Yeah.
And not have because if you're in your head, if you're going, okay, I can hear what this snare drum or drum sound or vocal sounds like now, and I'm going to guess what I can make that sound like in the future. With this, you're trying to think into the future of what your mix will sound like.
Yeah.
That is the wrong way to approach tracking and mixing. Get it now. If you're doing vocals, you should have the mix already there for some of the instrumentation and the arrangement, right? The arrangement's there.
Yeah.
So it should be at least roughly mixed. So you should be able to hear how the vocals should sit and make that choice now. And one of the cool arguments I had against this that I saw in the comments and stuff was, it's not just about saturation of the preamp, it's also that when you then compress it on the way in, that lifts that saturation,
Fully.
and then the saturation of that compressor adds.
Yes.
And it's this combination of things of dialing in the tones now and getting the right take. And then once again, like in tracking, when you use hardware, the artist and the way they push into that
Performance is different.
you
Yes.
get a different performance.
Yes.
If you have a singer through a cheap preamp, they're going to hear that in their headphones. They're going to be really just transparent and clean.
Nasally.
And whatever, but they're going to react differently to that.
Totally.
And they're going to work on the microphone
It's the
differently
same
to
as if
that.
you put reverb in their ears.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, would you put a reverb? Would you send them some reverb? Well, of course you do.
Yeah.
If someone, not everyone wants dry vocals.
No,
Most
no.
people don't.
No.
So if we can agree on that,
It makes a huge
why?
difference.
Yeah. Why can't we agree that dialing in the appropriate amount of saturation and compression is also the right choice?
Fully.
And EQ.
Yeah.
The amount of people that go to me, oh, well, what if I make a mistake? Fucking make the mistake,
who
dude.
cares?
Make the mistake.
Yeah.
Like you'll make the mistake and then you won't make that mistake
Yeah,
again.
yes.
Like
You'll
you'll
figure
know
out a way not to do it.
And also like I think everyone's biggest problem is that they're just fucking scared. They're scared of fucking it up. And so they go, I'll track clean. I'll track clean.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So
no.
I have all the options later on.
If you say that you track clean, that's a red flag to me that you don't do this job.
Yeah.
You don't actually do this job.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're a hobbyist or you're not, you're doing jazz and classical.
Or you're always sending to someone else for mixing.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny is
Yeah.
like, so I put out a video poo-pooing UAD. And
Oh, that went so big, man. That was crazy.
But you know what's funny is like, so a bunch of people commented on that and they were just like, oh, this is stupid. Like you want to commit on the way in and you want to, do all these things. And I'm like, that's fine if that's the way you work. And then the next one, we put out the preamp video and they're like, oh, but you just want to have clean options so that you can do this later on. I'm like, well, pick a side.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
So
so I had some quite large, like big time mix engineers comment on that video and be like, oh, this is a dumb hill to die on because people should, people should like create their sound on the way in and augment. I'm like, yeah, no, I agree with that. Totally. I don't agree with Johnny at home who doesn't know how to use compression, just slapping a compressor on and then putting reverb on it and then I have to mix that. Like that's cool.
Committing reverb is
insane.
Insane. When we say using reverb in tracking, that's monitors. Yeah. Monitors only.
Monitoring. Yes.
Yeah, only in monitors.
I just want to quickly touch on that UAD put out that video the week after saying
they corrected
we
themselves.
Fucked up. Yeah. And I'm like, so I was right.
Yeah.
Like, so I've saved the video because I was like, fuck you guys. Like, you can't fucking come back. It's funny because the video they put out, it was like one of those videos like, oh, we put out a video last week and some people had a problem with it and then it was just like comment. That for that thing, it's like, this is stupid, this is dumb, like, fuck you guys. I'm like,
they got rorted.
And
I saw that and I was like, Mitta!
Yeah, dude, I was fucking right. Fuck you guys. Anyway, then this person obviously doesn't track with hardware, right? Because if I'm using a saturation plugin, like you said, I want it to be maybe before my compression, which I'm using on the way in.
Yes.
Like, so obviously, like, maybe you're a person at home and you haven't got those extra pieces of gear. So I can understand the thinking behind this, but in the real world, when you're in a real studio, whatever that means these days, you're often introducing saturation early in the chain. I saturate the fuck out of my drums on the way in. I clip drums on the way in.
Yeah, and so many people are like, why would I do that? What if what if I make a mistake? Or why wouldn't I just do that later? And it's like, because if you're a real engineer and you do this job every day, you know what's going to work for the record. Well, you know what's going to work. That's your job.
How many times have I made a mistake that I can't come back from in my whole career?
If you overclip your snare, where do you go from there? If you fucked up your snare, what do you do?
It's never fucked.
Yeah, but what if you did? What would you do? There's options.
I mean,
use some samples, there are ways out of that problem.
Yes,
but also like we're not clipping, like you're making tasteful decisions. And I saw that thing as well, like where people forget that with EQ and compression in hardware, on the tracking phase, if you do it the right amount, you can still do more later. And people don't understand that. Yes. And I think it's because they're so used to using plugins where you can only do about 4 dB of compression before it gets gnarly. So if you're at home watching this video and you're like, once I get to like 8 dB of compression, my compressors sound weird in plugins. It's like, because that's what compressors often are like. They can't handle more than, like, if you try and go 10, 12 dB of compression
it's crazy.
On a plugin, I don't have a single plugin that can do that much compression and sound good.
Even hardware, like, it might struggle with that. So you space it out over different units.
But we have certain hardware for vocals where we slam them like 10 dB or more on tracking and they're good.
You know what's funny is like one of the first things, if I'm mixing a vocal, the first thing in my outboard chain is a 1073 preamp just for the gain. Just for the input distortion. That's all I use it for. I don't use EQ and I crank the input gain until it clips and then I bring it back one. And then it goes into my into compression. Just for vibe.
That's the whole oh God, what's his name? The Led Zeppelin engineer. Can't think of it.
Sorry.
God, my brain. More coffee.
Doesn't matter. Anyway.
Cool.
That's enough preamp gate. Fuck that shit. I'm fucking over it.
What's his name? Glyn Johns.
Oh, right.
Glyn Johns.
Right.
That was the Glyn Johns one,
Okay. All right. Let's go through some questions.
Hell
right,
yeah.
Let's go.
Some more positive shit.
Yeah. Let's, all right. What have I got here? So. All right, cool. Lachlan. Shout out Lachlan, thank you for this. Audio engineers / producers that you always learn new tricks from. Always being the operative word in there.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, okay, Eric Valentine.
Yes.
Every time that guy pops up on my screen, I learn something new. I love his attention to detail. The depth of his knowledge is great. He's got this series on YouTube. YouTube, Eric Valentine. He's got like he calls it something where he, every other week he
Oh yeah, mixing with Eric Valentine.
is that what is it just called that?
Making records.
Making records. Yeah, right, cool.
Yeah.
So
good.
Yeah, this is cool. His branding's real tacky and it looks terrible in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
he can do it.
the info in here is great. Like he sometimes breaks down mixes that he's done, answers questions.
Yeah.
I love when this guy pops up because I almost always learn something.
Yep.
Here we go. Fucking, I should watch this.
What is it?
So this is my favorite album of all time, or arguably one of them.
Every time I see
Cigarettes, dude. Every time, look at the darts back there. So he's got this crazy fucking setup with these tubes. Some people swear by tubes, and some people think they're snake oil.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion?
They do something.
Yeah.
But how effective they are?
Some guys only have tubes.
Yeah. I think acoustics are one of those things where you need to. It's not one thing is going to do the job.
Sure.
It's multiple things.
And I guess it would depend on the situation that you're in. Maybe sometimes you only need a couple tubes, and maybe you need a whole back room of cigarettes like that. Sometimes
they look like singers.
Yeah,
so good. He's got the ciggy butt brain.
Someone recently sold a pack of these tubes in Australia, and I was tempted to have a look at them, but I just don't have the space for it.
The effectiveness of them is less than just building a panel.
Right.
There are tests out there. They'll do something.
Can you explain to me, a dumb person, how it works?
Yeah. So the idea is that the tube is tuned to a frequency,
Right?
Because but so is any acoustic panel, and it's going to absorb that. But the absorption coefficient happens from density and mass.
Yeah.
So you can only get in a circle.
Yeah.
You can only get so much thickness and density, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, really, if you're talking about effectiveness for the amount of space, the traditional method of panels like these are actually just more effective per dollar per cubic meter.
Right.
You're just better off with standard paneling.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I looked into all of that before building my space, and Yesko's channel, Acoustic Insider, is one of the best
we
ones.
spoke about that,
and there's another guy as well that does some stuff as well, and
gonna
they're great.
I'm going to watch this video later. I'm actually excited. I didn't know that existed. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have one? Do you have a person that you find you're always learning things from?
He's great.
Will Yip is up there for me as well.
I haven't followed Will Yip.
You know what he does basement turnstile.
Dude, I've got to
bands like that.
Has he got a YouTube channel? Or where are you getting his stuff from? Or just
I think it's
his
just
interviews on podcasts?
I think it's just it'll be like random social media videos and stuff.
Cool.
Will Yip. I love this guy. He's my favorite for like I want to say room sound recordings.
Mad. Oh yeah, no, you showed me in a recent one. Yeah.
Recordings where
is he in the box? Is he the one that's one of the ones that's in the box?
No, definitely not. He's a he's a UAD guy again, which is this.
Was he at Abbey Road?
Shits me
doing
off.
something.
It's possible. I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
There was something you were showing me. If he's,
you know, what's funny is that I know for a fact that this guy's such an outboard guy, but here he is spruiking all this like UAD, and that just I don't know. It just makes me think like
it's for Universal, so it's a sponsored vid.
Exactly, and that's my thing. Nothing's real. You know, like I can't believe shit you see on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's up there for me in terms of learning new things like techniques, stuff like that.
Very cool. Engineers I learn from, one of the big ones, the people that, like, I think the most important thing is to go, what are the records you like?
Yes.
Listen to the people that made those records.
Yep.
Brendan O'Brien is a big one where I've learned a lot.
Brendan O'Brien?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the guy that did like Pearl Jam and stuff.
Ah, okay.
He did huge records, huge records.
O'Brien.
What's the guy that did...
Cool.
Name, I'm shocking with people's names. Yeah. The guy that did the Soundgarden Super Unknown record, he's huge.
Soundgarden
Super Unknown
Super
producer.
Unknown.
Yeah.
Produced by Michael Beinhorn.
Michael Beinhorn.
Michael Beinhorn. Let's have a look at him.
He's a good one.
Is he up? Is he on here?
And one guy that he's passed away now, Dave Jordan, he did the Alice in Chains records.
Okay.
And I got like a huge understanding of drum recordings from what he said in like a Warren Hewitt video years ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. sorry,
But they're my favorite records, right?
Right.
And I think it's important to go to your favorite records that were made and talk to those
obviously,
people.
obviously. Man, you know what's funny is like I get so much out of just like TikTok and Instagram. Like
Yeah.
I'll just be flicking through and a video will come up, be like, have you ever tried this technique? And it's like shot super quick and super edited super fast. It's like all those ones where it's like 20 different snare drum angles, and you know, it goes like,
yeah, I
pop,
love
pop, 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 and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's right. Like it just reminds me, like that's right. If I want more depth, I can do this and do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just nice to hear, you know, just little things like that.
Simple things,
I sent this video to Lachlan the other day. Wait, no, was it Joe?
It's in the photo you got of me there.
What? Oh yeah, you that's in the Prince outfit. Fucking so funny, dude.
Never change it.
So this one here, well, it was just like a TikTok video. Let's see if the audio comes through. So I pulled this up because I sent
Is
it
it
to.
auto muted?
No, it's I haven't changed anything. Hang on, I think it was doing some weird shit before. Is it playing the audio or?
Different.
Oh wait, I heard something then. Give me a quick time player version.
Here's a way to drastically change the sound of your drum recordings by using acoustic panels and sound treatment to change the sound of your drum room.
Nice.
Listen to how much this changes. Tighter,
Tighter.
punchier. Even that's kind of cool. Like, so I pulled this up and I sent it to Joe from Wood River because I was like, man, I want to have baffles as options for recording drums.
Gobos and stuff.
Yeah, and I was like talking to him like, let's like, how would we design it? How would we build them? And he's like, oh, it's a cool idea, but I don't have anywhere to store them. I'm like, oh, that's a great point. Like storage is a motherfucker, especially when they're that big.
Yeah, I think the way to do it is like to have maybe wall panels that are gobos themselves, and you can pull them in. That's my next step with the live room.
Right.
For my live room, I'm going to be taking down certain panels and moving some stuff, and they're going to be able to move in on wheels.
Cool.
And so they'll be on the wall.
That's cool.
But when we need to tighten stuff up, we can move them
That's
in.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard thing to manage.
If I had the space, I would absolutely build
You need gobos.
a couple of those.
Yeah, you don't need many.
Yeah.
Like, what about like when you came into my space and you're like, man, it sounds tight, and it's just because there's a big fucking panel right behind the drums, where the drummer sits, and that does so much. For me, that's just the default sound that I want in that room. But that is eventually going to be on wheels.
Right.
Yeah,
I
as
think
well.
So back to the point of what have I got? Grey hairs and shit.
No, some fluff.
So yeah, I think like I actually learn a lot from like TikTok and Instagram and that sort of thing. Just like little things like that will pop up and it'll just remind me, oh, you can try this or try different stuff. So yeah, I
think it all depends on what you want to learn.
Yeah,
like if you want to learn techniques, there's heaps. If you want to learn beyond the techniques, like things about like learning how to engage with artists and stuff like that, then you need to listen to producers talk.
Totally.
And you need to listen to podcasts. One of the not a specific producer, but the podcast, Lid Shaw's podcast, bloody recording studio rock stars. That is a wealth of information.
Cool,
There's basically in it. He's been doing that for so long. He's got about maybe 538 episodes
there's
or
a
something.
lot.
And there's every producer that's ever made a hit record on that. Like that is unbelievable as a resource.
I think I just have to mention this quickly. URM Academy. I every now and then, if I get bored, I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but if I get sick of my own mix techniques, which happens probably once or twice a year, I'll once or twice a year, I'll be like, I fucking hate my own mixes. I hate everything that I'm doing. I need to reassess and build from the ground up again. So URM is a really great service. They don't need me to advertise for them, but basically they have courses where you can watch your favorite mix engineer mix a song.
Yeah, there you go, Will Putney.
Yeah, so I bought that one. That's why it's there. Yeah. So he actually does a Thy Art song, which is fucking rad.
Mad. It's funny that. Do you think it's funny that he's doing like an Aussie band and stuff? Yeah. How cool is that?
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, like I like this resource for if I get stuck and I just need an injection of fresh ideas.
Yeah.
I'll just sign up for a month and I'll watch a bunch of these videos. So
Hectic.
And I'll wait till like someone who I like and respect comes on, and then
That's the way.
yeah,
That's the way.
And like if you go in there, they've got hundreds of videos. It's mainly for heavy music and that sort of thing. So
course.
if you're into that sort of thing, that's a good resource. But it's funny because I
Mixed with the masters and stuff as well.
Yeah,
There's
I
all
don't.
those.
Man, it's funny. I spend so much time on YouTube. I never really watch audio stuff.
No.
Maybe it's because that's my job and I don't want to think about it outside of work.
Yeah.
But do you watch the Mix with the Master stuff?
Not them specifically, but I watch a lot of interviews like this
Yeah.
and podcasts.
Yeah, funny,
I
'cause-
used to listen to way more podcasts. I've stopped.
Right.
Yeah, I've taken a big step back from that, and now I'm more just trying to concentrate on what I'm doing.
I never listen to shit like this, man. It's like I watch the clips when it comes up on TikTok. Like I watch the cut down versions, but I don't know. It just feels like work to me. Like
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
sitting down and listening to this.
I did watch that Kevin Parker one the other day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just little bits here and
Yeah.
there, but not as much anymore.
Half the time I don't even like what they have to say. Like I listen to some of like the Charlie. I think that was Charlie Puth. Who's the guy that does like? Is Jack Antonoff?
Yeah.
I was watching some of the stuff he was saying, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like what you're saying. Andrew Sherps, dude, have you seen? Okay, have you seen all the stuff on social media about how Rick Rubin is a fucking a fake? Have you seen this stuff? Like I don't know why Rick Rubin. So
Because he's copped backlash over the years over a bunch of things.
Well, a bunch of
when he
stuff's-
did the Slipknot album, he copped shit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff. Has come out lately. Yeah, like Rick Rubin's
It's cringe.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't watched this Fantano video, but
I haven't seen that one.
a lot of these guys.
That's only 7 days ago.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna watch
lot
the shit out
a lot
of
of
that.
people are fucking roasting him. Like,
Well, he just said there's a thing about him saying that it's not stealing and that, and it's
Yeah,
like he
what's
has
that
some hot
about?
take. Look, man, I think
stealing
this
and
is the thing.
supercharging it.
This is the thing,
Right.
right? You got to remember he's got deals with Apple and shit
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think once you get to a certain level of success, fame,
Yep.
wealth,
Yeah.
right? He's got so many album credits, man. He could live off royalties.
well, he's
like a
out of the
king.
food chain now. Like,
Exactly.
He doesn't live in reality.
No, and
Him-
that's what I was about to
him
say.
and
You become
CLA.
detached.
Yeah, him and CLA.
I've read his book.
Yeah.
And sorry for anyone that likes the Rick Rubin book. I found it the most just airy fairy.
Yeah, I'm not
book.
surprised. Just a bunch of wank.
I was just looking for not super technical stuff,
Which
but
one? In the studio or the creative act?
creative act.
Right. Okay.
And I was shocked how much I didn't like it.
Right.
And I was disappointed.
Right.
So like, it's all good to make a book that isn't about like technical shit. He's not a technical engineer. He's a producer.
Yeah.
But it didn't even really have stuff about him. I was expecting maybe something a bit more autobiographical about his time with artists, and it wasn't that at all.
Right, okay.
It was all like
Or like the ethos behind mixing.
hippie.
And,
Nah, it was like he was trying to write The Art of War, but
Right.
for fucking
Yeah.
music creation.
Yeah.
And it was just not good.
Oh, it's just like fucking like little fucking haikus and shit like that.
There's bits like that.
Okay,
but
right.
No, it's a proper book, but it's
Jeez.
not
What's
not
this
well.
fucking J.J. Abrams in here? A gorgeous,
Yeah.
delicious, and wildly practical
Yeah, so
interrogation.
I think he was trying to get it to be more about art in general, not just music. Anyway,
Russell Brand. Why do I care what you think?
also, you want to have potentially like someone charged with the things Russell Brand's charged with. I'd be taking that off my website, bro.
straight up.
Rick, take him off your website. Russell Brand is not an endorsement you need. Son.
And like as an audio
It's
engineer,
bad.
like I see J.J. Abrams and fucking
Brand.
Russell Brand. Fuck off.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, all the more detached people from
Yeah,
reality.
yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So, fuck, man, I'm gonna have to dive into that rabbit hole later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rick Rubin being a fake how?
I don't know.
There's controversy around him and the Slipknot album, how he just laid on the couch and he jack shit the
No,
whole
so
time.
what was that about? He would walk in and be like,
He was barely so. What's the singer from Slipknot's fucking name?
Corey Taylor.
Corey Taylor.
Yep.
Yeah. He basically criticized openly Rick Rubin when
Yeah.
after they did that album and said like Rick was never there. We hired him to produce this record. Blah blah blah. Rick Rubin has produced some of my fucking favorite albums. Right, like the Rage Against the Machine stuff, Red Hot Chili Peppers stuff, Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Yep.
Fucking System of a Down.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like he's produced these amazing records. But what you got to remember is the producer isn't the only one involved in the record.
No.
And who's doing most of the heavy lifting?
The engineer.
Engineers.
Yeah.
And so I think we get attached to the producer early on, and we used to, because that's what the person you'd see on the credits.
Yep.
And then now I think that's getting demystified a bit, and we're starting to realize what the role of the producer really is, which is sometimes more an artist manager or, you know, like a basic. It always, they might be just a project manager.
I can. I want to inject a little bit of personal knowledge about this particular story. I don't know fuck about this at all. But I did an album with Steve Evans in California in 2009.
Yep.
He is very good friends. I was going to say best friends, but very good friends with who's the producer that did all the other Slipknot albums?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
You do.
I know who they are. I just don't know who
No, hang on. It's fucking... Fuck, man. Why is my name blanking?
Korn's producer?
Yeah, Ross Robinson. Ross Robinson, the GOAT.
Did he do Korn?
Yeah, he did Korn, Slipknot, Lamb of God.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
any of those like
Hectic.
any of those like iconic late 90s, early 2000s heavy records, new metal.
Yeah.
It's Ross Robinson.
Yeah, cool.
Ross is an incredibly hands-on producer, right?
Yep.
He's known for I think Randy, whoever from Lamb of God, the singer from Randy, he would make him run laps of the block. So when he came back, he'd be like, oh, out of breath, and be like, now you do your take. And he'd be, you know, like that would become part of the energy.
Yeah.
And there's stories about him and
Cool.
Jonathan Davis.
Yeah.
Him saying shit like, you're a fucking worthless piece of shit. Your parents don't love you. You know, trying to get him to cry.
Yeah, wow.
So
this is like some fucking like director shit. Like, you know, like
exactly.
The famous directors like fucking David Fincher and shit.
yeah, whatever. It's like some method acting shit, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's so hands-on. It's
And
very
at that
psychological.
level, at that level, I get it.
Slipknot have done.
Don't make your artists cry, guys. Don't try that.
Can if you want.
Yeah.
But Slipknot have come. They've done 2 or 3 albums with Ross Robinson.
Yep.
And then they go and do an album with
Rick Rubin,
who's the opposite. Yes.
Yeah.
So that would have to play into this, right?
Yes.
Anyway, so that's
But I also think that they both came out later and explained more about it.
Yeah.
And then even Rick Rubin came out and said, yeah, I was I was doing multiple jobs and probably should
Oh,
have.
really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Because I just read here there was something about like Corey Taylor shit on him, but then
it back.
Jim Root was like, he was like, oh, it's okay. Like, you know, he's just less hands-on than what he used to.
Yeah.
So it's just a different
Which is probably
different
more
approach.
of the reality of it.
Yeah.
But also both things can be true.
Yep. I mean, and sometimes
And if your artist needs that.
I was going to say sometimes a hands-off approach is better for some people,
Yep.
and some people need the hands-on. So anyway, that's that was a great question from Lachlan. Thank you very much, man.
Cheers,
that was cool.
Lachlan.
Let's go next. What else we got here? So I fucking hate social media, dude. I'm so over it. All right, Eli McNamara. I love this question also.
Hey,
analog pedal compressors be actual rack mount compressors. So that actually steps into a business idea that I've had in the past that you and I have spoken about. I'm going to put my business idea out here for anyone to take. I wanted to create a product that's essentially a lunchbox for guitar pedals that you can plug in and have an effects rack. So someone that's pretty much done this is Franklin Audio. So Franklin, Nick Franklin, he is a legend.
Yeah.
Have you seen all these like social media videos? They're so funny.
They go so viral.
And they're
so funny.
so funny, dude.
Did you see the one that went crazy recently? And I commented on it and about Charlie being a mastering engineer. I said my daughter's going to be a mastering engineer.
Yeah.
And I got like 1,000 likes on that.
No.
It was fucking what? He did a post and he said, I've seen some of my friends or some people's drawings lately, and it was all like weirded out, and it was all just schematics and shit.
Really?
And I was like, my comment was, I showed this to my kids, and now they'll never be the same.
Right.
My daughter said she wants to be a mastering engineer now.
Fuck
so
it
funny.
hell.
And he just goes, I'm so sorry.
I think if you aspire to be,
But they're so funny.
I think if you aspire to be a mastering engineer, you're quietly a psychopath.
Shout out Nick. Yeah. Shout out Joe.
Joe,
Love
Nick,
you guys.
Josh, all of you guys.
Fucking yeah, Josh.
You're all
Love
weird.
you guys.
You're fucking weirdos.
Fucking weirdos.
Okay, so Nick
Hey, and they're also like, and you actually like dealing with artists?
Yeah, that's right. That's so right. So I think one of the first products that Nick created was this reamper thing. I might be wrong there, but it was one of the first things that they got really popular on. So he basically marketed it as send anything back through anything.
Yep.
You know, so like put your synth back, like synth through guitar pedal, drums through guitar pedal,
Vocals through pedals.
whatever.
Yeah, it was a good
because
one.
so that's a really great point that Eli's brought up, because guitar pedals are such a slept on like
mixing device.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got guitar pedals. They're cheap
They're
as
cheap
fuck.
as fuck.
Yeah, and you
they're
can get
so affordable.
and you can get weird ones. You know,
Yep.
like you can buy an effects pedal that will do something that no hardware unit can do, or no one's even thought of doing. You know,
Yep.
like it'll be a delay into a reverb into a chorus.
It's
or,
also a way of developing your own sound. Instead of buying the
Yes.
next 1176
Yes.
or LA2A or whatever, or like using Decapitator, go and use your pedals.
100%.
Try it. And like you turned me onto this a while ago
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
and it's a go-to.
yes,
And like ironically, it becomes a thing.
Yeah.
The whole clon-tumbness, like vocal distortion.
vocal
It
through a
is
clon.
the best vocal distortion I've ever used
100.
is a clon style pedal.
100.
Doesn't matter which one.
Yeah.
I've got the Behringer one, the
Yep.
the bad one, the
Yeah.
one they got sued for.
There's something about the
It's just
circuitry.
it's the right tone. It's a diode clipping
just makes
distortion
everything
circuit.
sound better.
It's fucking
Whatever goes through
sick.
it.
You could use it for snare saturation. It's better than a plug-in.
the only. Sorry. Okay.
I just think that there is still whatever like, the reasons why we love hardware versus plug-in for some things is that for whatever reason you can push them harder and they sound less bad. You get less digital weirdness and
Yes.
distortions and things.
Yes.
I don't know how to describe what that is.
Yep.
If it's to do with electrons, maybe it's the way they roll off certain frequencies in the highs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the limitations of digital processing
Yep.
and plug-in design, but there is definitely a difference between hardware and software, and it even shows up with simple things like pedals.
Yep.
And if anyone gets at us about the headroom of pedals because they're only 9 volts,
Yes.
a pedal is only 9 volts.
Oh, some are 18.
Some are
yeah,
18.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because who cares?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
We're adding distortion, baby.
Yeah.
And you can do it in parallel, so whatever.
This is someone using one of their devices to reamp flute through guitar pedals.
Hectic.
Fucking sick,
So
man. Fucking sick.
So good.
So to answer that question,
Go for it.
Eli did say, he specifically said compressors, but I'm going to open it to any guitar pedal.
Yeah. Yeah, you go for it.
It's fucking sick.
Try it.
Yeah.
It's a fun way.
Yep.
Having dials and using your hands to dial shit in is so much more fun and tactile, obviously, than using a plug-in.
Yep.
And it makes you, like with hardware, it makes you use your ears.
Yes.
Because you're turning dials and you're not looking at a fucking screen.
Yes, it's funny how using your hands makes you listen to things better.
Yeah.
Just quickly, the Roxferry, they're up to 150,000 followers. It's
Fucking
wild.
shout out Rockstreet.
So this vocal sound is it is SM7B through a 2i2.
Yeah.
Because they record at home.
Yeah.
They record the vocals at home.
Yep.
And then I put that vocal through a Tumnus.
Yep.
Through a $200 guitar pedal, and that's the vocal sound.
Yep.
Obviously I compress it first so it's all nice and even and shit, but
Yep.
the tone is from a $200 guitar pedal, which is fucking unreal, man.
Real. Yeah, get yourself any clon. I don't give a shit which one.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They're all cheap.
Yeah.
They're all the same. Don't buy a real clon. That's psycho. You don't
that's
need
crazy.
it. A pair of diodes.
Any reamping device will work.
Yep.
I'm behind Franklin because he's a legend. It's an
Yeah.
Australian company.
Yeah.
It's a
Shout out,
DIY
Yep.
situation, which I love.
He's an awesome dude.
Yep, and it's just great. It's a well built product. It looks fantastic. Yeah, I've heard that they're very reliable. I can't fault this. This is everything I want.
The switcher was the big one for them.
The switcher,
too.
yes. So that was the one that blew them up. Also, was the SS6. Yeah. There's a bunch of new stuff in here, which is really cool. I haven't even looked at, but yeah. Shout out Nick, you're a
He
legend.
moved up to Coffs Harbour recently too.
What?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Fuck,
I don't
damn.
know if we're allowed to do that.
Damn.
Dox him. Dox that.
Just what's his address? What's his phone number, man?
Nick Franklin, 32.
Fuck yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean, I guess the only downside of this, right, is that it's mono.
Yeah.
Unless you have two of those guitar pedals.
Yeah,
which,
or it's a stereo reverb or delay effect, which there are.
Yes, yeah.
There's
I mean,
plenty of.
and there's ways of getting around that, right? So if you like your vocals in stereo, but vocals are always recorded in mono. So you just pass them through one of these mono
And then go to your
things
stereo
and
effects
then
post.
make it stereo.
Yep.
Also, I think it's worth stating that doing this stuff in parallel is a good idea.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those situations where you can overcook it.
Yeah,
And I have
yeah,
overcooked it before.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's also like if you're running a vocal through a guitar distortion or a fuzz,
Yeah.
it can get crazy, and then you can blend in your dry signal
Yeah.
for some definition.
I do it in parallel.
It's fucking dope.
It's easy.
Yeah.
And like I find it's often just way easier to balance in a mix than a plugin.
Yeah.
And like I love distortion plugins, don't get me wrong, but goddamn, if you got the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All day.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Hectic.
So that's a
Mad
cool
one.
question,
Thanks, Eli.
Eli. Yeah, thank you, dude. Let's go again. Declan. So thoughts on sub kick versus LDC with low end boost.
Different thing.
This is funny because
Yeah.
this is something a topic that you and I have touched on a bunch recently.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mentioned in the last podcast that I stopped using the sub kick for a while because I was like, oh, it's physically a lot. It takes up a lot of room in the mix because it's so like dense
Mm-hmm.
and thick. After a while, I was like, oh, I don't think I need it. Especially on fast playing, like I was like, it doesn't. Took it out of my chain for ages, maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months, and then put it back in, and I was like, oh god, it sounds good.
Yeah.
And I think I
Yeah.
honestly think the goat kick drum setup is as an inside. Like whether that be a Beta 91
Yeah.
or an RE20 or a D112, whatever,
Yeah. Something that's nice and clicky.
clicky slappy,
Yeah.
and then a something on the outside, whether
Fet.
that be a 47 FET,
Yeah.
a U47 FET, I think is an ideal.
Yep.
Dr. Alien Smith deserves a mention.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
that particular mic is cool. But anything that's like dark,
So you think that the Dr. Alien would be another option for a FET? Like
I've
in that
swapped them
place?
out. I've one
Yeah.
or the other.
Yeah. Yep.
You can do both if you
Yep.
want. But yeah, I'll put one up, and if it's not the one, it's the other one.
Yep.
And then the sub kick on
Sub-kick.
top of that.
Yep.
So
Yep. That's the way.
is that your experience as well?
Yes. And I recently, last pod, I mentioned the whole reason I didn't put my FET 47 up was because I wanted it on toms. I wanted to have two 47 style mics on toms.
Yep.
They're the warm audio ones, super affordable. By the way, we're not talking expensive mics necessarily. Those WA FET 47 Junior things, so good for the money. They're so good.
If anyone doesn't own a sub kick, I just want to
Yeah.
have a quick look at the
The
frequency response.
Yeah, and the reason, if we'll get into this. Like the reason why you want a sub kick, and you don't necessarily, you could use either or. Like say if you wanted something a bit more punchy and less bass heavy, FET 47, right? If you want something with much more sub information, sub kick. But the reason why they're not necessarily interchangeable is because they're doing two different jobs.
Very much so.
Very much so.
Yes, yep.
It's all got to do with the frequency response,
Yep.
right? A big 10-inch driver, a
Yes.
10-inch woofer.
A 10 or an 8?
Mine's 6 point. Mine's
I think
6.
it's
Yeah,
8.
it's 8.
I think
yeah,
it is, yeah.
It's
Sorry.
6. It's There's 6, 7.
Yep.
Yeah. People say it's a 10, but it's not. Sorry.
Sorry, keep
yeah.
going. Yep.
Because people say they're NS10 speakers.
Right, yes.
At
It's a
first they were.
6.5 inch driver.
6.5, yeah.
Yep.
6.5. A 6.5 inch driver is a bigger diaphragm, so it's going to pick up more low information
Yes.
than other mics in a different
And the
way.
speed is totally different, isn't it?
Speed is different.
Yes.
And then the off-axis rejection is
Totally different.
you're talking about a microphone capsule,
Yes.
a little microphone capsule, which is only this.
Yep.
Versus a speaker like this.
Yep.
The high frequencies can't make that speaker move.
Yep.
So it just can't pick them up. So the spill from a sub kick
Yep.
is non-existent.
So-
they're fucking unreal.
So just to preface this, Declan is fantastic at recording drums.
Yeah, cool.
And he knows the difference. He's not asking for himself. He's
Yeah.
asking for the world.
The world, okay.
Yeah. So his drum recordings are fantastic.
Hell yeah.
So first off, let's look at the frequency response. So we'll use the Neumann U47 FET as a representation of a condenser LDC.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a bit of a roll off in the bottom. There's a couple little peaks on the top.
That you got to be careful with those too. Let's just clarify this.
Yeah.
That might be without proximity.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So that bump
Yep.
probably lifts.
Okay. Yep.
in that with proximity.
But it probably doesn't live like that, does it?
Nah.
Yeah. So, like when you have a sub kick in your chain, it's pretty much it sounds
Yeah.
like that. Like
Yeah.
it's there's no high end to it whatsoever. It's
Is that an AKG?
no, this is the sub kick.
That's a sub kick.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
whoa.
the frequency response. So allegedly, I would have
Yeah.
thought it rolled off at 500 or something like that.
Yeah,
Let's double check that I've got that
that's-
right. Hang on. So sub kick.
That's a D112.
Is it?
It did on the picture.
Okay,
Go to
because
the picture
I just
again.
I clicked on that.
I know.
So
I know.
microphone.
But
Hang
go
on.
to it again.
There's got to be like a Yamaha.
Go to it again though.
Yeah, right. Oh, it says D112, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, because I saw that and I was like, that's a
careful.
D112.
Fucking careful. I won't
Hey?
fuck that up. Let's go like that's.
Do you know your frequency responses?
Nah, not. See, that's to me what it.
That. Isn't that fucked that I was like, that's a D112 off the frequency picture?
That's wild.
Who's got the tisms?
Yeah, dude. Fuck. You're
Fucking
fucked.
tism, bro.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
All right, so. The sub-kick microphone. This is the actual Yamaha. It doesn't need to be the Yamaha. It can just be a sub-kick microphone. Wait, I think this is the Yamaha. Yeah, okay. Well, that's not. That's a blah, blah, blah. Oh, dude.
Yeah, 'cause it's in the article.
I just clicked on it.
That's
too
why you got to
early.
be careful at Google.
My
bro.
bad.
That's all right.
All right.
Yeah,
that's what we're
sub.
looking at.
Yeah.
So
Look at that.
yeah, let's get
Hectic.
rid of this. Yeah, look, if we're comparing these two.
As we go into this, I just want to clarify something as well, because then you're going to get some
Yeah.
smart ass that's going to go, I could just roll off my microphone.
Nah, you can't.
What's the difference?
The speed.
Yeah.
The response of the capsule.
Yeah.
The capsule being
Yeah.
a fucking
Speaker.
6.5 inch driver.
Yeah.
Which is like as opposed to a metal small. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
and a
this-
small plastic diaphragm.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a total. It's a different signal that gets picked up from the cone or the diaphragm,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then, effectively, a speaker is a micro. It's a dynamic microphone in reverse. So it's got to push a coil and a driver mechanism
Yes.
to a magnet.
Yep.
And so that magnet is fucking gigantic.
Yep.
You're getting different things to a small dynamic microphone with a small. What you got to remember too, a dynamic microphone has a small mylar plastic diaphragm.
Yeah,
The same
yeah.
as a condenser.
Right.
Right? How they transfer that electronically is
Yep.
very different.
Right.
But a speaker is another completely different. It's a different tool.
Dude, I just want to touch on that
Yeah.
idea quickly of like, oh, I could just do this.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not the same.
yeah, no, but
Because
like,
going back to that, just use a saturation
yeah,
plug-in.
yeah, exactly. Like, why don't we just
Yeah.
use one mic for everything and then you just EQ them differently?
Why
Like,
don't you just get a slate microphone that can do all the jobs?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
man. Like it's funny because like
Like,
I used to have that thinking when I didn't have a bunch of different things. I'd be like, oh, I've only got one mic. That's all right. I can EQ it, and it just sound like this. First of all, you can EQ it all day. It's not going to sound
No,
exactly like
it
the
won't
other
give
one.
you the same energy.
Yeah. Second of all, you don't want to be thinking down the line, oh, I'm going to have to EQ this mic differently and then split it up and then cut this. And, you know, you just want the thing to do the job that it's meant to do.
Do it now.
Yeah. And then you can move
Yeah.
on, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not thinking about, oh, I've got to low pass filter this mic so I can.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the overall kit sound, the bigger picture, the song. Like, you know,
Yep.
I'm not in the weeds with this bullshit because
Yeah.
it's been done for me early.
And even though a sub kick might cost $700 to get a Yamaha one, you don't have to get a Yamaha one.
no,
you can
you
make
don't.
one.
You can make one, yeah.
Go get a 6.5 inch driver from your electronics store, like J-Car or something, or even better, find someone selling some crappy old speakers for free on fucking Facebook and just rip them out of the box and then put them in front.
What was that other brand, Subkick, the new one? Remember we just looked it up.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, Dr. Alien Smith
no.
does one as well.
hang on,
But
there's another. What was that brand?
can't remember.
We did this on the last podcast. We just talked about it. Anyway, so there's a million videos on how to make one DIY. Anyone can do it. It's
Yeah.
fucking easy.
It's easy and cheap and fun.
I bought the real one because back then there was no other option.
Yeah.
There was no
The real
competitors.
one has a sonic sound.
It has a
It's
sound.
tighter than
Yeah.
my sub kick.
It has a sound.
I'm going to mod my sub kick very soon to make it work
Cool.
the way I want it to
Cool.
work with like some
I
filtering. and
I
stuff.
also like, because I work in a commercial environment, I'm okay spending a little bit more money on something
course.
that looks the part. You
yeah,
know, like
I get it.
yeah. Oh, is it this Poseidon?
No.
Oh, dude, this is another one. So this is another $200 option of a sub kick. You
I
seen
haven't
this thing?
seen that. Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah. Right. What's
The
this one say?
Kraken. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah. Right. Because there's companies coming out with these now, right? Like they're
because there's a market.
yeah. There's more and more of these becoming popular for $200 to $300.
Yeah.
At that price, it's a no brainer. Just
Yeah,
go and
yeah,
buy
yeah.
one.
Yeah, a couple $100. If you're doing drum recording,
Yeah.
it's
So-
it's a must have for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
back to dude, have you tried it on Basscab?
No,
It's cool.
I don't do
it's
it.
just
I've
like a
got to.
sub rumble. It's it does what you expect it does.
For me, if I'm using a sub kick on kick,
Yep.
I wouldn't use it on bass and vice versa.
Fair
I don't
enough,
think
yeah,
because
because
you're
you
just going to get too much
choose-
low. Yeah,
yeah.
you got to do one or the other.
Yep.
Especially at 50 hertz.
Yep.
You're just going to get
Yep.
one's going to be there, not both.
Fully.
Yeah.
But like the great thing about that this as a microphone is it essentially fills out that. Let's look at the frequency response. I said
that low
before 50 to 100. That looks like it's up to 200. I'm
Yeah.
guessing that's 200 there.
Yeah.
So yeah, 200 essentially and down, which it just.
Yeah, that could no, because it'll be maybe.
I reckon. Oh, I wish there was more
20,
to this graph.
30, it'll be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 200.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that it fills out the low end in a way that I've never heard an LDC do. And I like it. Like he said, like LDC or subkick, fucking both.
Both.
Yeah.
If you've
both.
got the channels,
Yep.
we understand, like, if you don't have all the channels, that can be tricky for some people. Yeah, but if you have the luxury of being able to do both, if you're doing drums, you need 16 channels.
Yeah.
We said that in the last pod.
Yeah.
16 channels minimum.
Minimum.
If you want to do a good job tracking drums.
Cool. All right, and then that's I think we can skip through to the next question. So this next question comes from Jacob. Jacob was one of my interns.
He was also one of my former students.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
I had 2 Jacobs in a row, but love both of them to death. So Jacob now does a lot of. He traveled, like he went to South America.
Yeah.
And now he does a lot of stuff on his laptop working with artists from all over the place, which is fucking cool. Anyway, so he sent me this question back, April. That was like 2 months ago now. All right, cool. So I've been saving this because I liked it.
Cool.
Let's just see. Audio's been weird today, but this is going to work. It's going to pop and then...
Yeah.
No, I don't know why.
Yeah, like I've been thinking the whole mixing and mastering thing. I mean, this is pretty played out, this question about like what's the difference between mixing and mastering. I guess on a deeper level, I don't quite understand how a mixing engineer can take a mix to a point where they're 100% happy with it, like 100% happy, and then send it to mastering and then hear the master and it's better, like it's 105% of what they, they had their mix at, compared to the mastering engineer's perspective, which is that they receive something that's 95% there and then they take it to 100%. Like I do get that there's the whole thing about having a fresh pair of ears and maybe just, having different flavors, different gear, different studio, different pair of ears. But I don't know, like I guess hypothetically, if you've got a mix and the mastering engineer makes some specific moves, like some EQ moves and some some wideness stuff, I guess I just don't understand why a mixing engineer can't make those same moves on their mix bus.
It's a valid point.
Yeah, like I guess it's kind of like
I already know my answer, but yeah.
If you bake a cake and to the point where you're 100% happy, like you've worked on this recipe,
analogy.
you've got everything like fine-tuned, and then someone else comes along and puts icing on the top and you're just like, why didn't I do that? Like why didn't I put that in my recipe? So yeah, I guess there's a question in there somewhere. But yeah, just something I've been thinking about recently.
Okay, cool.
That's actually great.
It's a good
great
question.
analogy
Yeah.
because you can hit that at a couple of different
Yes.
ways. Do you want to go first?
No, I want you to go first because you master stuff and I don't.
Because there's 2 approaches
Yeah.
and it's very complex.
Yep.
And I'm going to start with, and this is something you can maybe delve into later.
Yep.
When you're leaving stuff left over, it's very much about the relationship you've built with a mastering engineer, I feel. I feel like you're doing it as a team. And the problem is right, like I think we've lost perspective because the job has changed and evolved around music creation and finalizing music. The job of a mastering engineer or the perspective, the perception of what a mastering engineer does has changed. Because a mastering engineer once upon a time used to have to master to vinyl.
Yeah.
And so you had to go to a mastering engineer.
Yes.
If you were a mix engineer, you were not qualified at all to do the mastering.
Yep.
That was not your job.
Yep.
So back in the day, your mix engineer finished the job to tape, and then the mastering engineer was to get it to vinyl and do all the back end stuff to get it on vinyl and then distributed. So that was their job. And technically, it still is their job that way.
Yep.
The mastering engineer's job is to get it to distribution
Yep.
or distribution ready.
Yes.
So it still is that same job, but the reason why they were two very separate jobs was because they were very identifiably
Yep.
two very different jobs
Yes.
back then.
I could argue they still are.
Yeah, and I would 100% agree that they still are.
Yep.
But the difference is now is that you can technically mix and master
And a lot
if
of people
you want to.
a lot of people do it.
And a lot of people do it.
And that's where the confusion happens.
Yes.
Is because people ask me all the time, like, oh, you're going to master it? I'm like, I don't do mastering. And they're
Yeah.
like, hang on, I thought you did everything. I'm like, it's a completely different thing.
Yeah, and it's a choice thing.
Yeah.
If you want to be able to master, but you can't just master. You have to learn and study it, and you have to learn what mastering is. You can't just slap a fucking limiter on and be a mastering engineer.
No.
And it, like, ideally, I wouldn't master, but I have clients coming to me that don't have things in their budget
Yes.
to then go on.
Yes.
And they're quite happy for me to master, and I'm mastering more and more.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been doing heaps of hip hop mastering, heaps, and I've gotten to the point where I feel I'm getting good enough at it
Yeah.
that I can actually reliably offer it as a service.
Yeah.
And I've got the right gear and know-how, and I've studied under one of Australia's better mastering engineers enough to do it.
Paul Stephanitis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like like Josh studied under the same teacher as well.
Viking Lounge in Sydney.
Yeah. And so like I have the training and the experience and the understanding to do it, but I still wouldn't call myself a mastering engineer.
That was going to be my next question.
I wouldn't call
Yeah.
myself that.
Okay.
I can master,
Yep.
and I feel like I can master very competitively.
Yes.
I can do it.
Yes.
I can take someone's record and I can master it and I can do the things to make it sound right and hit Spotify and beat other mastering engineers on Spotify.
Yeah.
In loudness and
loudness.
quality.
In
In
loudness,
loudness and quality. And I've done the research to figure that out.
Yep.
And that's taken so much of my fucking time.
Yes.
I spent 12 months
Yes.
figuring out how to beat the algorithm for
And
Spotify.
that's why one of the reasons I refuse to do it is
Yeah.
because how much time it will take for me to learn the art.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you still might not get there.
No.
And someone still might do a better job than you.
I don't want to be jack of all trades, master of none.
Totally.
My answer to this is like threefold. Like
Yeah.
there's multiple
There's
parts
so
to
much
it.
to this.
So the
So
first
much to this.
the first thing is you need to understand what mixing and mastering is.
Yep.
The difference between them.
Yep.
And like we're not going to do that now because that's such a huge topic and
Yep.
you can look it up. But basically, a mixing engineer is taking all the raw ingredients of your cake.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And manipulating it so that all fits together in your recipe and so
Yep.
that everything is cohesive and it works together
Yep.
from the individual like single sources.
Mm-hmm.
And then a mastering engineer takes said cake and goes, yep, okay, cool. It's too high on the left. We need to bring that side down so it's even. The color is kind of whack, so I'm gonna just change the color a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
smooth these edges that you've just missed, and then we can present it.
And I would, staying on the cake analogy,
keep going.
I would argue that some mastering engineers
Yeah.
aren't even doing the icing.
No.
They're doing the sprinkle on top.
100%.
Right? It depends on the job and,
if
it
you go
depends
back,
on the mastering
If you go
engineer.
back to that episode we did with Joe,
Yeah.
they spoke
Joe's-
about it. Yeah.
Joe's
their
doing
approach,
heaps in some jobs.
Yes, some jobs
Yeah.
it's heaps, and some jobs it's the bare minimum.
Yep.
Okay, so we've covered
And it's quality control.
very
sometimes.
yes. We've covered very briefly the difference between mixing and mastering. That's important.
Yeah.
The second thing is I always describe mastering as, say you've written a book and you need someone to proofread it.
Yeah, the editor.
That's what a mastering engineer is. They're
Yeah.
going to read through your book and go, you've misspelt that word.
Yeah.
This grammatically doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And how's that translate in music? Okay, for example, there's too much 50 hertz in your mix.
Yep.
So I'm gonna pop that down a little bit so
This is
that
actually
things
an
are
awesome analogy.
things
Yeah.
feel even, you know.
Yeah.
And there's some pokiness up here that you've missed. I'm gonna grab that. If you're proofreading your own book, you're not gonna find your mistakes because that's
Yeah.
to you. That's you've written it that way because that's the way you think it needs to be.
Yep.
And you just maybe you don't know how to spell that word.
So in journalism, there's a chief editor
Yep.
or an editor in chief, right? Who looks over everything
Yep.
before something goes to press.
Yep.
That's their job.
Yep.
Same exact thing.
Yeah.
The highest editor in chief
Yes.
looks over what's going out and what is happening now in media. People are using AI and getting caught out
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
this crazy shit. And this is why you shouldn't AI master or fucking do any of that shit too, because you're not having a professional.
No.
Check everything, and there will be errors. There will be
Yes.
mistakes.
Yes.
And when you have to go back to physical media,
Yep.
like a vinyl, like a CD, all these mediums that you as an artist might be actually able to make more money off, you need a proper mastering engineer
Yes.
to do that.
And-
An actual mastering
Yep.
engineer.
Yep.
Because it's not just putting limiters on things.
Yes.
It's getting if you need to get something to CD, at TAFE, they didn't even teach that shit.
Yeah.
Right? Barely. Like at uni, I was lucky I had Paul. Some unis don't teach this stuff. Some colleges don't teach this stuff of how to actually get things to CD. But a mastering engineer, a qualified one, will know the processes for that.
So
anyway,
so back
keep going,
back to the like, if we're going to use Jacob's cake analogy and why if they're only adding 10%.
Lander is putting a shit on that cake. You want a cake, cunt? I'm going to take a turn.
Lander is 2 girls, 1 cup.
One cake.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Anyway, if you respect your music and your mixes, you won't use Lander.
Yeah.
But so Jacob's analogy.
Yeah.
Why if it only needs that last 10%, why can't I incorporate that into my recipe? Well, okay, so this is goes on to my next point in that a mastering engineer is a trained specific person that listens to music in a specific way that often us mixing engineers don't. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah. And they have to understand the context of your mix versus my mix.
Yep.
And what is appropriate.
Yep, and they're listening to they're listening more. I think they reference more than a mix engineer probably does. They listen to other things that are out in the world and go, okay, cool. Well, your mix is here, Post Malone's mix there, Taylor Swift's mix here. Let's get you in the middle so that you're competitive. It's all about being competitive and about comparing to other things. So I guess the statement about you're not going to see your own mistakes. I think for me, that's one of the biggest things.
Oh, dude, it's the riskiest play. It's a risky play to master your own mixes.
Yeah, you have to
you can fuck it up.
You have to be incredibly objective as a artist and a person to do that, which most of us aren't. Let's be real.
Yeah, if I had bigger budgets, I would send them off to
always.
And in the future. You know, I want to be doing more of that.
And then, so to continue on with the mastering engineer is a specific type of listener. They also have a very specific listening environment, which is often totally different from mixing. Something we should touch on quickly is like the price of mastering gear compared to the price of mixing gear.
Yeah.
So it's ironic, right? Because a mixing engineer does, I would argue, 70% of the work, right? Like
depending on the mix engineer. Yeah.
But they're gonna track it, they're gonna edit it, they're gonna mix it. You know what I mean? They're gonna do all those stages. Yeah. Say if we're one person.
If we're tracking and mixing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if you're just a mixing engineer, you're not tracking.
Yeah.
You're responsible for probably 50% of the sound.
At least.
And then a mastering engineer is probably responsible for 10.
Yeah.
At most.
Yeah.
Probably more like 5 most of the time.
Yeah.
But the cost of mixing gear is a third of the cost of mastering gear.
Mastering gear,
maybe less, man. Like mastering engineers are notorious.
And are you including the monitoring, like speakers?
Actually,
that's what I mean.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So the mastering engineers are notorious for spending $100,000 on their monitoring.
Yeah.
Paul from Viking Lounge, their monitoring, their main monitors, I think they're either a PMC or an ATC or a Genelec or something like that. $100,000 speaker.
Yep.
The Bs are worth $50,000, and then the Cs are worth 10.
Yep.
My speakers are not even worth 10. You know what I mean? Like that. So the difference, and then the room has to be tuned perfectly.
The rooms at Viking Lounge, they spent so much money building those.
I mean, you go back to our mastering episode with Nick and Joe, and both of them, what did they say the most important piece of gear they have is?
The room or the speakers?
The room.
Yeah.
The room. Yeah. They were both like, the room is everything.
Yeah.
And like, we all know that you can mix in a subpar room. Mastering in a subpar room, that's dicey. That's really dangerous.
Yeah.
I think because that, like, to me, a mastering engineer is a fucking mad scientist who has a brain that's totally different from mine, who looks at music in this objective. You know, I see them looking at music and it's just like the Matrix. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like going in their face, because I don't fucking understand how it works. And I don't pretend to understand how it works. You know better than I do. But yeah, I think it's about having a different mindset. It's about having a different set of skills and having an objective third party. That's impossible to do on your own.
Yeah. You definitely need a clear perspective. And at the end of making certain records, once again, there are times where I've wished I wasn't mastering. It's because I'm like, I'm done on this.
I would argue.
And to go, now I've got to master this. Like I typically do a hybrid approach now where my mix is my master.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly doable.
I think that's
but
a lot
you're
of people.
Constantly checking things.
I think a lot of
so
people
it's
work
extra.
like that.
Yeah, and it's becoming more common as budgets shrink and
that's the thing
because
is-
of digital.
Yeah.
But just remember, if I had to get this pressed for vinyl, I would have to send it to a mastering engineer that understands vinyl.
Yeah.
on that. I could do CD, but I
Yeah.
can't do vinyl.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
And I say that to artists. I'm like,
Yeah.
is this going to vinyl?
Yeah.
Because if you're doing vinyl, it has to go to someone else
Yes.
after me.
I think the crux of Jacob's question is the fact that he comes from a younger generation where mastering engineers and mix engineers, often the lines are blurred, whereas we grew up in a
Absolutely.
time where they were two very separate things.
Very separate.
And if you asked a mix engineer, you're going to master it, they'd probably laugh at you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
they'd be
Yeah,
like,
they go,
"Are
"No."
you obviously don't know anything about this process.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, and that's like we're seeing mastering studios fold left and right because of budgets are collapsing and people are, like we said, blurring the lines between the two.
Yep.
But I think, that the having an objective third party listen in a new acoustic environment
Yeah.
that is arguably superior to yours,
Yeah.
they're going to hear things that you don't hear.
And have that final quality check.
Quality assurance
Yeah.
is really important. I would also argue, you saying you mastering your own music, you could only be at best 70% objective about those mixes.
Yeah,
Right?
it's so hard.
Because you've spent weeks listening to the mixes.
Yeah.
You're so deep in it
Yep.
that when it comes to the master, you're going to hear it from a certain angle.
Yeah.
Which even me, I'm going to hear it from a different angle.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up on things that you're
Like,
not.
I much prefer to have an artist coming to me. So some of the mastering jobs I've been doing lately are just mastering jobs. And so, like, that is so much easier.
Isn't it so much easier,
So much
right? Because you
easier.
can be objective.
Yep.
And I think I think that's the key word in answering this question is objectivity.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've answered his question, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
over the course of those points.
Yeah, the objectivity. And I'll just preface this as well. Like, the eye-opening thing for me that allowed me to believe I could do mastering if in the situations where I need to was when I heard certain engineers like Bob Horn and stuff, and I was like, oh, this sounds like it's mastered.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just to play the other side,
Yeah.
there are mix engineers, because he was saying about like the process of mixing and then not getting it all the way there. When you hear some Grammy award-winning mix engineers, their actual mixes,
Yeah.
they sound fucking mastered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they sound better than mastered records
Yeah,
I've heard.
yeah.
Right? So there are mix engineers who are putting on limiters. Like, that doesn't mean you can't do a mix and put limiters on the master bus and do mix bus processing. You can still do mix bus processing almost to the level or at the level of a mastering engineer.
Yeah.
If that's your sound, if that's what you do, heaps of EDM dudes do it. Heaps of hip hop dudes do it.
I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's the job of the mastering engineer to do 1%.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
instead of 10.
But I also think you can't discount the value of that 1%.
Oh, no.
You know, some people are like,
absolutely.
oh, it's only
Because what might happen is that the mastering engineer might hear someone go, hey, man, there's this one thing that you missed
yes,
that's
yes.
going on. Can you just go back and fix that
Yes,
for us?
yes.
And then it'll be perfect.
That's happened to me a
and
few
that
times.
is fucking invaluable.
Invaluable. And that's one thing AI can never do.
Yeah.
But dude, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
And you
wholeheartedly-
can't do because you
No.
don't have the perspective.
Yes, yeah, you've lost objectivity at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, you need it. I think those are great points.
Yeah, man.
There was something else I was going to say in regards to that, but no, I think we got it.
Yeah.
Fuck, I've had something else, dude. No, it's gone. I think it's back to that, like the 1% versus the 10%. Like, yes, sometimes a mastering engineer is going to do more and sometimes they're going to do less, but still that role is completely invaluable. Like, who wants a fucking mix that's 98% of the way there? You want the 100%.
Yeah.
You know, like-
yeah. And on big budget records,
Yeah.
which still do exist this day
Yeah.
in today's day and age, that's the job.
Yeah.
That's still the job.
Yeah.
There has to be, as part of the production,
Yeah.
someone overseeing the final stage.
Yes.
And that's why there's still the Joe Carras and Nick.
Yes. Yep. And I also want to
engineers.
state that I never master my own shit. Like, I will do it. I'll do it on something where there's zero budget, and I'm just like, look, if we're not going to get this mastered, it needs to be at least be loud. But I'll preface to the artist and saying, I'm not a mastering engineer. This is not a master.
Yeah.
This is me making the master loud, and that's it. And like, I don't really even try because I know that I can't do the job that they do.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about budgets of a record, right? Mastering these days, depending on who you go through, is maybe let's say in Australian dollars between $100 and $200-300. $250 on the higher end, $100 on the lower end. What's $100?
Yeah.
Like you've just poured days into your recording, potentially thousands of dollars into the recording, depending on who you're working with. Most of my recordings, you know, a one song ends up being between $1,000 to $2,000, depending on how long we spend on it and blah, blah, blah. Some people might balk at that figure. Some people might think it's low. I don't care.
Yep.
But what, and then at the end I say to you, hey, we're going to spend $150 on a master, and you go, $150?
Yeah.
You're like, dude, like,
Yeah.
that's how much it costs to fill your car up. Just
Yeah.
do it. Like, don't think about it. Like, if I'm here telling you that this needs to be mastered,
Yeah.
trust me and just do it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that's a little bit off topic, but
Totally.
yeah. You think that's fair?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that was a great question from Jacob. I really appreciate that one, man. Thank you.
I kept getting distracted just a second ago.
Just looking
from
at my phone?
Your warm tattoo.
Why?
Because if we ever get drunk together and you fall asleep in front of me, I just want to put I heart warm and then audio underneath.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I like warm dicks.
That's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking-
Oh, man. Everyone.
You heard it from here first.
Thank you for the
You know what he
questions.
loves. Yeah.
Feel free to DM us questions or just leave a comment on our YouTube videos.
Hell yeah.
Because we look at them and like it helps us with
Yeah, if
creating
you want to get roasted, leave
or
a
if you want to
comment.
roast us, please go for it.
Yeah,
but
go.
It yeah, no, it helps us
Roast him first. and then-
He's bald as fuck. Not by choice either. But yeah, no, it helps us create content that people want to watch, you know, as we're just fucking jacking our own dicks over here. Anyway, thank you very much. Good night.
Warm dicks.
Yeah.